All right, everybody, how's it going? Zach, ZR Chess, and coming back today with a great opening, I think, called the Budapest Gambit. A lot of fun to play for black, and it's one of those questions how to answer d4. A lot of people, e4 is most common, it seems like, so you've got the Sicilian, you've got these mirror games, you've got all of that, but d4 is a little bit up in the air for black. You don't know what they're playing, and you don't want to go into something a little too weird or too risky. So often, what I always play against d4, starting out anyway, whether I'm playing the Budapest Gambit or not, is knight f6. So this allows us to still come to d5 if we want, but we're not playing all our cards yet. So if we want to go into a King's Indian or a Queen's Indian, we can. We still have a lot to do here. We're just bringing out our King's Knight, preparing to castle in a few moves, and getting everything ready for that. Now, what's fun about the Budapest Gambit is that you get to do something wild with this instead of just playing a safe game. So often when white plays this way, they want to just grab more center, and obviously you can't do it here like he would like. So he goes for a Queen's Gambit. And, it's not Queen's Gambit unless your pawn's here, but same concept, grabbing more in the center. And normally we could get into a Queen's Gambit declined or something of the sort, but the Budapest Gambit is a little more aggressive, a little more fun, and it goes e5. So we are offering up this free pawn and trying to fight for the center and maybe get some taxed in too. So we are actually going to go over to the accepted and the declined, just because with gambits, I like seeing, you see these people and they show you how to do the accepted version when it takes, but then you get into a game and your opponent doesn't accept your gambit, and then you think, what now? What am I supposed to do? I've practiced for them to take this piece that I'm giving them. They're not taking it, and now I just kind of got to guess my way through. So I'm gonna go through both here. It's a lot of material, but we will get through it. So first, we'll go with the accepted, and when the pawn takes here, attacking your knight, we are always going to go to g4. G4 is attacking this pawn, and it's also aimed at this pawn here, where the king's at. And so white really wants to protect this pawn, hold on to this pawn, and the best way to do that, he's got a couple options. First, he can come here with the bishop. He can come to f4. This is all right. We are going to take our bishop and go to the b4 check. So a couple things, we're going to launch our own attack. He could come back with his bishop, but honestly, what's the point? He already moved it. Now he's moving it twice. And then we're just going to take and then take the pawn anyway. And we are ahead in development. As black, we're ahead in development. That's incredible for us. So he's probably not going to do that. He's either going to come with the knight to d2 or c3. Now, if he comes to c3, it's pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and take that, because now when he recaptures, he doubled up his pawns here. It's going to be a good target for us. His queen side's a little wrecked, and then we're going to come out with our knight to c6, attacking this pawn still, and he's going to have to react. So we have two minor pieces out for his one. We are down a pawn, but we're probably going to get it back with this structure here. It's going to be good for our endgame as well. Not a bad deal for black. He can also go to d2. Now d2, we aren't going to recapture right away because it doesn't do a whole lot for us. So we're going to go to c6, attacking this pawn. Now we've got two attackers. He only has one defender. And so he's going to have to put another defender on this. So the most logical way for him is just knight f3. Bringing out another minor piece, protecting, all that jazz. And so we're going to go to queen e7. The nail in the coffin, because now I've got 1, 2, 3 attackers. He's got 1, 2 defenders, and he can't bring any more defenders on this. So what white will often do, since he can't defend this pawn anymore, he'll launch a counterattack, which would make sense to go a3. And you might see this pretty often. It's just an attack on the bishop, trying to get you to exchange or something and get it rolling. But there's a little trap we have here. We are not going to move this or exchange. We are going to go knight takes e5. And we're just leaving our bishop out there. And, it's a great thing for us if he goes ahead and takes this. really sneaky, because then we've got checkmate, because the queen is pinning the pawn to the king, and knight d3 checkmate, blow your opponents away. Boom, great checkmate, great smother mate. So that's a fun one if they do end up taking that. In all likelihood, they'll be smart and go ahead and take with, say, their bishop, and then we can recapture with the knight. They still can't take our bishop because still checkmate. You know, they might miss it a second time. You might have a second chance. So taking the knight, and then from here we will exchange check, and then take the knight. And we're equalizing material, we're equalized in development for the most part, besides these pawns. Our pawn structure looks quite well. His needs a little work, he's a little overextended, but he can make up for that. It's going to be a very even game at this point if he dodges all those landmines we set for him. So even if he plays perfectly to this position, you're still fine. You're still not in trouble. You just gotta, just gotta get your bishop out, and castle, rook comes out, and you're gonna have a good game. All right. So instead of, let's go back here. So instead of the knight going to f3, he can also protect with pawn f4. So if black plays pawn f4, then we are going to go bishop c5 and just double attack on this section here like last time. And the king is going to have a hard time with this. There's not much to be done. The pawn can come here. That's about it. But then we are still going to end up taking this pawn. And now we've got a bishop on his third rank and attacking this pawn. It's very good for us. So, alright, so on to the declined version. Very fun accepted version to play, and so we'll go on to the declined. So, when it opens up, we get in this position, and he does not want to take our piece on e5. He normally will just go to e3. e3 is going to be the main move here, and when he goes to e3, we're going to go ahead and take this, and then he could recapture with the queen. It's a bit of an overextension after our knight comes out, so that would be great for us, but normally he's just going to go ahead and take with that pawn, and then we're going to come up here, which is a common theme, and bishop b4 check. So after bishop b4 check, he's got his, different moves he can do. He can come in here with the bishop. And when he comes here with the bishop, it's kind of fun. We're going to go queen e7 check. And we've got this and the pin here. So he really needs to go ahead and he can try to block with the bishop, but then he's going to get pinned down and all this bad stuff's going to happen. So he can stop it with the queen on e2, blocking that. And then from e2, we're going to go ahead and take d2. He really needs to recapture with the knight, and then we're going to play d5. Fighting for the center control. If he takes, we take with the knight, we're fine. If he pushes here, it's really not a big deal. And so this is just going to be really good for us. Now, the queen might end up taking here just to try to get you so you can't castle anymore. It's not a big deal. This is a fine position for black. After he goes ahead and develops, let's say knight g3, knight f3, we're going to go ahead and bring our rook here. And on the next move, we're manually castling ourselves with check, and it's going to be no problem for us to get through this. So normally the queen will not take, I would say, at least the way I play. Normally just normal moves like knight g3. And then we're going to go and play bishop e6 right here, protecting the pawn again from attack and blocking this queen trade, so we can go ahead and castle in peace. And then normally c5 is going to be played. If c takes, like I said, we just take back with the knight. It's no big deal. But c5 is going to be the normal move. From here, we're just going to go ahead and castle. And we've got a pretty good game going on. We're going to fight for, we're going to push this forward, fight this square, or bring the knight up. When the knight comes up, we'll start attacking. and we're gonna have a great game here. Even though they declined our gambit. This is a really solid opening for black. So that is the Budapest Gambit. There's another way instead of him declining with e3. He could just play d5, and d5 we're gonna come in with b4 check, and he can block a few different ways. Obviously, blocks with d2, and then we're gonna go ahead and play a5. So if he does take, we take and open up our rook file. Great for us. He can block with his knight on d2. Blocks with his knight on d2. Then we are going to go ahead and play c6, fighting for center control here. And if he takes, we recapture and we're doing great. And then knight coming to c3 as well. Just like before, we're going to take to double up those pawns, and then d6 just to block this pawn and start fighting for center control again. We're ahead in development of minor piece, and we're going to have a great game. He's got these doubled up pawns. We can castle. He can't even bring his bishop out yet to castle. This is a fantastic position for us. So as you can see, even the declined version of the Budapest Gambit is very well played for black. If you play it right, you're gonna have no problem at all having a really close game with white at least. And if you play well, obviously you'll win with the good scenario you have after into the middle game. So that's the Budapest Gambit. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I do. I do enjoy this. This is a fun gambit. So let me know what you think. Let me know if you've ever played the Budapest Gambit. Maybe if you think I'm missing some lines. Let me know what you thought. And if you liked the video, subscribe so you can know whenever I make new openings like this. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.